Have you ever felt like you're in a battle for your own attention? Like some ideas just latch on and refuse to let go no matter if they're true or even good for you. Well, what if that's not just a feeling? What if we're actually witnessing the birth of a whole new form of life, one that's evolved specifically to thrive in our digital world? Let's dive into that.
No, really think about this for a second. What if the most viral, the most polarizing, the most inescapable ideas out there aren't just concepts? What if they're behaving like living organisms? Think of them as ancient cultural narratives, now supercharged, fighting for their own survival right inside our minds.
So this is the core concept we're talking about today, the attention-based life form. It's kind of like a virus, right? But instead of hijacking your cells to replicate, it hijacks your attention. It's not made of DNA, it's made of code, of memes, of stories. And its only goal is to spread, using our brain power as its fuel. And the scary part? Truth, our well-being, none of that matters for its survival.
Okay, so where in the world did this thing come from? Well, like any organism, it needed the perfect habitat to evolve. And guess what? We built it for them. Our modern digital media landscape is their perfect breeding ground.
And this is where it all clicks. See, in the past, attention was something you earned by having real value or wisdom. It was a side effect of quality. But today, in our world of algorithms, that connection is totally broken. Attention itself is now the food. It's the nutrient these new life forms need to grow. The system doesn't care if an idea is true or helpful. It only rewards whatever gets the most clicks, the most shares, the most outrage. It rewards replication, period.
To really get what we're up against, we need to basically dissect this thing. And what you find is that it's not one single entity, but a really complex system, almost like a parasite that needs multiple hosts to survive.
And that's the key right there. This isn't some villain with a grand plan. It's an ecology. It's a symbiotic relationship between 5 different kinds of players, and they all work together, a lot of times without even realizing it, to keep this idea parasite alive and kicking.
So here's the breakdown of the 5 hosts in this system. First, you have resource concentrators. Think of them as the financiers, pouring money in to amplify certain narratives. Then you have energy substrates, which connect those ideas to real-world resources, locking them in. Third are the legitimacy providers. These are the institutions or experts that get co-opted to give a wild idea a stamp of credibility. Fourth, transmission optimizers. These are the pros at engineering ideas to be as catchy and contagious as possible. And finally, the habitat providers, which are the media platforms themselves. They provide the jungle where these ideas compete to survive.
And when you put them all together, you get this, a powerful, self-sustaining feedback loop. The money amplifies an idea, which gets legitimacy, which gets engineered to go viral on social media, sucking up all our collective attention and energy, all without a single thought for whether it's actually good for us.
So, what happens to us, the humans in this equation, when this idea parasite really takes hold? Well, the effect is described as something like an informational autoimmune disease, where our own systems start turning on themselves.
Before we get to the disease, let's just quickly look at what's healthy. A healthy person, a healthy community, it's all about balance. We have boundaries for ourselves, for our family, and for our culture. Information and our attention are spread out properly between these different layers.
But the idea parasite just shatters this. It thrives by forcing all of our attention onto one single layer, usually by making us outraged about something. And when all our mental energy is focused on that one thing, that natural, healthy balance just collapses. The walls between self, family, and community start to crumble, and all that's left is conflict.
And there's the diagnosis. Our collective immune system, which should be able to spot bad ideas, gets totally confused. It starts attacking the very things that are supposed to keep us healthy. Our institutions, our communities, even our families.
Okay, that is a pretty scary diagnosis, I know. But it's not hopeless, not at all. If this is a disease, then that means we can develop an immune response. We can build an immunology of ideas. So what would that treatment plan even look like? How do you fight back against an enemy that literally feeds on your attention?
It really comes down to 3 key strategies. First up, vaccination. This is like media literacy on steroids. We have to train ourselves to look past the viral numbers and ask, wait, does this idea have any actual value? Second, epidemiology. This means we have to get conscious about our own attention. Where's our brain power really going every day? Is it balanced? And third, management. This is the big one. We have to start redesigning our systems, our platforms, our institutions to reward balance and health, not just who can shout the loudest.
So where does that leave us? What's the prognosis here? Well, the goal isn't to destroy this new life form. Honestly, that's probably impossible. The real challenge is, well, it's a lot more interesting.
The most important insight might be this. We need to shift our thinking from war to co-evolution. We can't get rid of this new form of life, but we can learn to live with it. The goal is to domesticate it, to turn this parasite into something that works with us, not against us.
And if that sounds crazy, just look at biology. Mitochondria, the things that literally power our cells, they probably started out as parasitic bacteria, but over millions of years we integrated them and created a much more complex, powerful form of life. This could be one of those moments for our collective minds.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this. We are living in a new world of ideas. Science, journalism, our whole society, it's all happening in there. And just recognizing that we are connected to and dependent on these new attention-based life forms, that's the first step to building a healthier, more sustainable mental world for all of us.
So the question I want to leave you with isn't just what's going to happen next. The real question is, what role will you play in building that healthier future? Because it all starts with where you choose to place your attention.